Ladies and gentlemen, we ask for your kind attention as we begin the flag installation ceremony of the newly elected non-permanent members of the United Nations Security Council. Let me invite the permanent representative of Kazakhstan in the capacity of Master of Ceremony, His Excellency Ambassador Kairat Umarov, to deliver his welcoming remarks.
Excellencies, Assistant Secretary General, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, distinguished colleagues, good afternoon and Happy New Year to every one of you. I'm pleased to welcome you to today's flag installation ceremony. At the outset, allow me to briefly recall how this ceremony came into being. In January 2018, during Kazakhstan's presidency of the Security Council, I had the honor to serve as permanent representative of my country and president of the council. At that time, the hosting of flags for newly elected members was treated mainly as an administrative step, often without ceremony or public attention. I therefore proposed marking the assumption of council responsibilities in a more visible and dignified manner. The aim was simple: to recognize the responsibility entrusted by the General Assembly to incoming members. Over the years, this initiative has been embraced by all members of the Council and carried forward by successive presidencies in close cooperation with newly elected members. Today's gathering marks the 9th flag installation ceremony, underscoring both continuity and collective ownership of this practice. I am particularly encouraged that in the closing days of the past year, this tradition reached an important milestone. Following a consensual decision of the informal working group on documentation and other procedural questions, on December 26, 2025, the flag installation ceremony was formally recognized as an official procedure of the Security Council. This development has been duly reflected in the note by the President of the Security Council for December. I would like to express my sincere appreciation to all delegations and colleagues who worked constructively to achieve this result and to firmly embed this practice within the Council's working methods. Kazakhstan views this ceremony as its practical contribution to the work of the Security Council, a modest but meaningful element of the Council's institutional culture that reinforces continuity, inclusiveness, and respect for the mandate entrusted to elected members. By transforming a technical step into a shared ceremonial moment, this initiative seeks to strengthen the sense of collective responsibility that underpins the Council's work. It's a privilege to conduct today's ceremony in close coordination with His Excellency Abukar Dahir Osman, Permanent Representative of Somalia and President of the Security Council for this month. I wish him every success as he guides the Council's work during his presidency. I would also like to express my great appreciation to Mr. Mohammed Khalid Kiari, Assistant Secretary General for the Middle East, Asia, and the Pacific, for joining us today and for his active engagement in this ceremony on behalf of the Secretary General. His continued support and commitment to the work of the Security Council are greatly appreciated. Against this background, I am pleased to welcome our colleagues from Bahrain, Colombia, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Latvia, and Liberia, as they take up their seats on the Security Council for the 2026-2027 term. I would like to kindly remind that all of you are elected by the General Assembly, and you will remain accountable before the nations who trusted you with the election to this apex UN body. We hope that you will make meaningful contributions over the next 2 years to address critical global challenges and reinforce the Council's mandate to promote peace and security on behalf of all of us in the General Assembly. As you embark on this noble mission, I encourage you to remain unshaken in your purpose, united in your efforts, always driven by our shared aspiration to build a safer, fairer, and more prosperous world. Ladies and gentlemen, the installation of flags serves as a visible reminder that service on the Security Council is both a privilege and a responsibility. It marks the beginning of demanding mandate carried out on behalf of the entire United Nations membership. The international environment in which the Council operates continues to evolve rapidly. In this context, the effectiveness of the Council depends on cooperation, mutual respect, and the willingness of all members to engage in good faith. Elected members play an indispensable role by bringing regional experience, balance, and fresh perspectives to the Council's deliberations. As you begin this important chapter, I wish you perseverance, unity of purpose, and success in your work. I thank you.
We are honored to give the floor to the incoming President of the Security Council for the month of January and co-host of the ceremony, permanent representative of Somalia, His Excellency Abukar Dahir Osman, for his welcoming remarks.
Good afternoon, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, and Happy New Year. A new year is always a symbol of hope. It marks an opportunity to begin anew while carrying forward the wisdom and experience of the past. Allow me to begin by expressing my deep appreciation to the delegation of Kazakhstan for institutionalizing this flag-raising ceremony, which offers us all meaningful occasion to reaffirm the ideals and values that bring us together in the Security Council. It's both an honor and privilege to address you today as Somalia assumes the presidency of the Security Council for the month of January. We are profoundly grateful for the trust and confidence placed in us by our fellow members. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to the Council members whose terms have come to an end, mainly Algeria, Guyana, Republic of Korea, Sierra Leone, and Slovenia. Your dedication, diligence, and commitments have made significant contribution to the work of the Council, and I congratulate you on your remarkable service. In the same spirit, it's my pleasure to warmly welcome the newly elected Council members, Bahrain, Colombia, Democratic Republic of Congo, Liberia, and Latvia, to serve on the Security Council is both a distinct honor and a solemn responsibility entrusted by the wider United Nations membership. Over the coming 2 years, your voices and your efforts will be essential in guiding our collective pursuit of peace and security. We meet at the moment when the world confronts persistent and complex challenges. Armed conflict and humanitarian crisis continue to threaten international peace and security, affecting Africa, Europe, Asia, and the Americas alike. Those challenges remind us all the pressing needs for dialogue and understanding and effective multilateral action. The Security Council has a unique mandate to respond to threats to peace and to foster cooperation, and to support the most vulnerable by working together, upholding the principles of multilateralism, and demonstrating respect for the Charter of United Nations. We reaffirm our commitment to the collective actions in service of peace, security, and human dignity. As we embark on this new year, let's do so with a renewed sense of responsibility and optimism, determined to rise above division and remain steadfast in our pursuit of consensus and cooperation. I wish all members a successful and impactful term. May our efforts here reflect and serve the hopes of all those represented by the flags that surround us. I thank you.
I now have the honor to give the floor to our special guest, His Excellency Khaled Khiari, Assistant Secretary General, Department of Political and Peacebuilding Affairs, Department of Peace Operations, who is joining us today on behalf of the Secretary General of the United Nations.
Good afternoon and Happy New Year to all. Mr. President, Ambassador Umarov, Madam Deputy Ministers, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Ambassador, for giving us this opportunity to participate in today's flag installation ceremony, a meaningful occasion, as you have said, where we formally recognize the 5 newly elected members of the Security Council as they begin their 2-year terms. As you recalled, Ambassador, this flag installation ceremony was initiated by your country, Kazakhstan, in 2018, and it has by now become a highly anticipated event and a notable tradition associated with the Security Council. Kazakhstan proposed the ceremony as a means to formally welcome new members, to visually symbolize their commitment to the Council's work, and to mark the transition of responsibility. Since then, it has been organized each year at the beginning of the new term, providing a moment of reflection and recognition for both incoming and ongoing members. To the new Council members, I would like to join their Excellencies in extending my heartfelt congratulations. Your presence here is a reflection of the trust and confidence placed in you by the wider UN membership. It is also a recognition of the critical role you will play in deliberations that affect the lives of millions of peoples around the world. From addressing conflict, supporting UN operations, and responding to emerging global crises, your contributions will shape the work of the Council and its impact on international peace and security. I'm confident that through your commitment and collective engagement, you will contribute positively to the work of the Council throughout your term. The Secretariat, throughout its comprehensive reporting, detailed briefings, and advisory and support services, will continue to provide support to all Security Council members to ensure the full and effective discharge of your mandates. In conclusion, today's flag installation ceremony is not only a celebration of your new roles, but also a renewed affirmation of the collective responsibility of the Security Council. We look forward to the contributions of Bahrain, Colombia, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Latvia, and Liberia to the work of the Council in advancing peace, security, and international cooperation over the coming 2 years. I thank you.
Now, let me give the floor to Permanent Representative of Bahrain.
President of the Security Council, Ambassador Khairat, dear ASG Khaled Khiari, Excellencies, colleagues, and friends, Happy New Year to you all. It is with the deep gratitude and a profound sense of responsibility that the Kingdom of Bahrain today raises its flag as an elected member of the United Nations Security Council, returning to the Council after nearly 30 years with redoubled commitment to international peace and security. I take this opportunity to thank the Permanent Mission of Kazakhstan for organizing today's ceremony and the outgoing Council members, Algeria, Guyana, the Republic of Korea, Sierra Leone, and Slovenia, for their important contribution to fulfilling the Council's mission. I also congratulate our fellow incoming member of the Council, Colombia, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Latvia, and Liberia. I look forward to establishing a constructive working partnership over the next 2 years. The Kingdom of Bahrain is returning to the Security Council for its second tenure. against a regional and a global backdrop, remarkably different from world we saw in 1998. But today, just as back then, the world needs wisdom, goodwill, and shared vision to guide joint action toward a stable, secure, and prosperous future for all. As the proud Arab member of the Council and the current chair of the Gulf Cooperation Council, Bahrain will strive with determination to promote peace and stability through dialogue and coexistence, upholding the values and principles enshrined in the UN Charter, and in full respect of international law and humanitarian action. We shall address traditional and emerging security threats, from terrorism and extremism to cybersecurity and maritime security. Women and young people shall be cornerstone of all initiatives as we collaborate to build bridges and strengthen multilateral action. We commit to ensuring peaceful resolution of conflict, and in particular to the Palestinian cause, our top priority during our membership. We shall strive toward ensuring the legitimate right of Palestinian people, including the establishment of an independent Palestinian state, as the key to opening a new chapter for regional security, stability, and prosperity, and hope for both the present and the future generation. Before concluding, allow me to share a message in Arabic. نتوجه للأسرة الدولية ونحن نستهل عضويتنا بمجلس الأمن برسالة ملؤها الأمل، نابعة من الرؤية الحكيمة لسيدي حضرة صاحب الجلالة الملك حمد بن عيسى آل خليفة ملك مملكة البحرين المعظم حفظه الله ورعاه، من أجل السلام والأمن والازدهار، وبتوجيه من لدن سيدي صاحب السمو الملكي الأمير سلمان بن حمد آل خليفة ولي العهد رئيس مجلس الوزراء حفظه الله. نؤكد أن السلام مسؤولية مشتركة نحث من خلالها على الالتزام بالحوار والتفاهم، ونبني على أسسها جسور تواصل متينة مع الجميع لبذل كافة الجهود للتعبير عن تطلعات دول وشعوب المنطقة والعالم أجمع. كما نؤكد أن القضية الفلسطينية ستكون على رأس قائمة أولويات المملكة في المجلس، حيث تسعى البحرين لدعم كافة المساعي الدبلوماسية الرامية لتحقيق تسوية سلمية عادلة وشاملة للقضية الفلسطينية وفق قرارات الشرعية الدولية، ولضمان الحقوق المشروعة للشعب الفلسطيني في إقامة دولته الوطنية المستقلة ذات السيادة والقابلة للحياة. I thank you all and look forward to working with you. Thank you very much.
Permanent representative of Colombia.
Permítanme en primer lugar saludar y agradecer a Kazajistán que inició esta tradición y felicitar a Bahrein, la República Democrática del Congo, Liberia y Letonia, con quienes comenzamos este camino. Agradezco también a los miembros salientes por su compromiso y destaco muy especialmente la labor de Guyana en representación del GRULAC, cuyo trabajo serio y posiciones de principio dejan un estándar que esperamos honrar.
Allow me first to extend my greetings and express my gratitude to Kazakhstan, which initiated this tradition, and to congratulate Bahrain, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Liberia, and Latvia, with whom we embark upon this path. I also thank the outgoing members for their commitment, and I wish to highlight in particular the work of Guyana in representation of GRULAC, whose serious engagement and principled positions have set a standard that we hope to honor.
Esta es la octava vez que Colombia es elegida como miembro del Consejo de Seguridad pero este evento tiene un significado especial para mi país. Al ser yo la primera mujer indígena en representarlo en este órgano, asumo esta responsabilidad con mi pueblo, el pueblo de Colombia, el pueblo aruaco y los pueblos indígenas del mundo. Y como expresión del compromiso del gobierno del presidente Gustavo Petro con una Colombia y una ONU más inclusivas y representativas, donde la diversidad sea una fuerza real para la igualdad.
This is the 8th time that Colombia has been elected to the Security Council. Yet, this event holds special significance for my country, as I am the first indigenous woman to represent it before this body. I assume this responsibility with my people, the people of Colombia, the Arhuaco people, and the indigenous peoples of the world, as an expression of the commitment of President Gustavo Petro's government to a more inclusive and representative Colombia and United Nations, where diversity constitutes a genuine force for equality.
El valor de mi presencia no es individual, es colectivo, pues ejemplifica la diversidad lingüística, cultural y biológica de Colombia e incluso del mundo mismo. Una diversidad enriquecedora que se refleja en las historias detrás de las banderas de hoy que instalamos en este acto.
The value of my presence is not individual but collective, as it exemplifies Colombia's linguistic, cultural, and biological diversity, and even that of the world itself. This enriching diversity is reflected in the stories behind the flags we installed today in this ceremony.
Colombia llega con un mensaje que resume nuestra historia, experiencia construyendo paz. Tras décadas de violencia, hemos aprendido que el diálogo es el único camino, que para hacer la paz entre la humanidad se requiere también hacer la paz con la naturaleza, que la paz requiere justicia, inclusión y verdad, y que nunca es lineal, sino un proceso de largo aliento que requiere y que debe abordar integralmente las causas del conflicto. Venimos a aportar esa experiencia a la labor del Consejo, con apertura para dialogar y forjar entendimientos que fortalezcan el propósito común de mantener la paz y la seguridad internacionales. Colombia viene al Consejo de Seguridad a hablar de paz, no de guerra.
Colombia comes with a message that encapsulates our history, experience building peace. After decades of violence, we have learned that dialogue is the only path, that making peace among humanity also requires making peace with nature, that peace demands justice, inclusion, and truth, and that it is never linear, but rather a long-term process that must comprehensively address the root causes of conflict. We come to contribute this experience to the work of the Council, with openness to dialogue and to forging understandings that strengthen our shared purpose of maintaining international peace and security. Colombia comes to the Security Council to speak about peace, not war.
Nuestro mandato estará guiado por principios claros: respeto al derecho internacional, a la Carta de la ONU, promoción de los derechos humanos y del derecho internacional humanitario, y compromiso con el multilateralismo. Impulsaremos una agenda al servicio de la humanidad, centrada en las personas, que incorpore plenamente las voces de las mujeres, jóvenes, pueblos indígenas, afrodescendientes y comunidades históricamente marginadas, que representen los intereses del sur global, que priorice la protección de civiles y que defienda los 3 pilares de la ONU sin dejar a nadie atrás.
Our mandate will be guided by clear principles, respect for international law and the Charter of the United Nations, the promotion of human rights and international humanitarian law, and a firm commitment to multilateralism. We will advance an agenda in the service of humanity, centered on people, which fully incorporates the voices of women, youth, indigenous peoples, people of African descent, and historically marginalized communities, which represents the interest of the Global South, which prioritizes the protection of civilians, and which defends the 3 pillars of the United Nations while leaving no one behind.
Asumimos esta responsabilidad en un contexto global complejo, tensiones y conflictos en aumento, violencia indiscriminada contra civiles y una crisis climática que agrava situaciones humanitarias y amenaza los avances de paz, en paz y desarrollo. Los desafíos urgentes desde Haití hasta Palestina exigen determinación, audacia y coherencia en la acción del Consejo.
We assume this responsibility in a complex global context, rising tensions and conflicts, indiscriminate violence against civilians, and a climate crisis that exacerbates humanitarian situations and threatens progress in peace and development. Urgent challenges, from Haiti to Palestine, require determination, boldness, and coherence in the Council's action.
Colombia, miembro fundador de esta organización, honrará la confianza depositada por la Asamblea General y por nuestra región. Cuento con un equipo pequeño que mezcla juventud con experticia, que se ha preparado con seriedad y está dispuesto a trabajar para que las decisiones del Consejo tengan un impacto real y transformador en quienes esperan protección, justicia y esperanza. Duni Bababa, muchas gracias.
Colombia, a founding member of this organization, will honor the trust placed in it by the General Assembly and by our region. I rely on a small team that combines youth and expertise, which has prepared itself with seriousness and stands ready to work to ensure that the Council's decisions have a real and transformative impact on those who seek protection, justice, and hope. Thank you very much.
Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Monsieur le Président, Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs, avant d'énoncer nos priorités, au nom de mon pays, je voudrais remercier la République du Kazakhstan pour avoir inscrit cette traditionnelle cérémonie d'installation des nouveaux membres au Conseil de sécurité des Nations Unies.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, members of the Council, before outlining our priorities on behalf of my country, I would like to thank the Republic of Kazakhstan for including this traditional ceremony for the installation of new members of the UN Security Council on the agenda.
La République démocratique du Congo siège aujourd'hui au Conseil de sécurité avec une pleine conscience de la responsabilité que lui confie la communauté internationale. Elle y revient pour sa 3e fois, exactement 35 ans après. Cette présence n'est pas circonstancielle. Forte de son expérience marquée par des conflits prolongés, des processus de stabilisation complexes et des efforts continus de reconstruction, la République démocratique du Congo apportera une contribution utile, lucide et responsable aux travaux du Conseil.
The Democratic Republic of Congo is taking its seats on the Security Council today, fully aware of the responsibility entrusted to it by the international community. It returns to the Council for the 3rd time, exactly 35 years later. This presence is not merely circumstantial. Drawing on its experience marked by prolonged conflicts, complex stabilization processes, and continuous reconstruction efforts, the DRC will make a valuable, insightful, and responsible contribution to the Council's work.
Cet engagement s'inscrit dans la continuité de sa participation active au multilatéralisme, notamment à travers ses responsabilités au sein du Conseil des droits de l'homme des Nations Unies, du Conseil de paix et de sécurité de l'Union africaine, ainsi que de la Conférence internationale de la région des Grands Lacs. À ce titre, la République démocratique du Congo entend être une voie constructive et engagée, guidée par la promotion du multilatéralisme et du respect du droit international. Pour ce faire, son mandat s'inscrit essentiellement sur 2 piliers. 1. Paix et sécurité. 2. Prévention et résolution des conflits.
This commitment is in line with the Democratic Republic of Congo's active participation in multilateralism, particularly through its responsibilities within the UN Human Rights Council, the African Union Peace and Security Council, and the International Conference on the Great Lakes region. In this regard, the DRC intends to be a constructive and committed voice, guided by the promotion of multilateralism and respect for international law. To this end, its mandate is based essentially on 2 pillars. First, peace and security. Second, conflict prevention and resolution.
S'agissant de la paix et de la sécurité, nous contribuerons activement aux réflexions sur l'avenir des opérations de paix des Nations Unies. En tant que pays hôte, depuis plus de 2 décennies, de l'une des plus importantes missions de la paix, elle a acquis une expérience concrète des défis comme des limites de ces instruments.
With regard to peace and security, we will actively contribute to discussions on the future of United Nations peacekeeping operations. As a host country for more than 2 decades to one of the largest peacekeeping missions, the DRC has acquired concrete experience of both the challenges and limitations of these instruments.
L'expérience démontre également que la paix durable ne peut être dissociée de la justice. La justice transitionnelle, lorsqu'elle est inclusive, crédible et adaptée aux contextes nationaux, constitue un levier essentiel de réconciliation, de cohésion sociale et de stabilité. En matière de prévention et de résolution des conflits, la République démocratique du Congo mettra en évidence, d'une part, le lien étroit entre ressources naturelles, gouvernance et conflits, d'autre part, l'importance de programmes de désarmement, démobilisation et réintégration, conçus de manière holistique, durable et orientés vers la réintégration socio-économique.
Experience also demonstrates that lasting peace cannot be separated from justice. Transitional justice, when it is inclusive, credible, and adapted to national contexts, is an essential lever for reconciliation, social cohesion, and stability. In the area of conflict prevention and resolution, the DRC will highlight, on one hand, the close link between natural resources, governance, and conflict, and on the other hand, the importance of disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration programs designed in a holistic and sustainable manner and focused on socio-economic reintegration.
Monsieur le Président, Mesdames et Messieurs, en siégeant pour la période 2026-2027, la République démocratique du Congo assume un triple engagement envers son peuple, envers l'Afrique, envers la communauté internationale. Elle exercera ce mandat avec sens de responsabilité, esprit de dialogue et fidélité aux principes et objectifs de la Charte des Nations Unies.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, by serving on the Security Council for the 2026-2027 term, the DRC is undertaking a threefold commitment to its people, to Africa, and to the international community. It will exercise this mandate with a sense of responsibility, a spirit of dialogue, and unwavering fidelity to the principles and objectives of the United Nations Charter.
Le gouvernement de la République démocratique du Congo remercie l'Union africaine et l'ensemble des États membres des Nations unies pour la confiance accordée à notre pays pour son retour historique. Nous réaffirmons notre disponibilité à travailler avec tous les membres du Conseil afin de promouvoir la prévention des conflits et la recherche des solutions durables au service de la paix et de la sécurité internationale. Je vous remercie.
The government of the Democratic Republic of Congo thanks the African Union and all the member states of the United Nations for the trust placed in our country for this historic return to the Security Council. We reaffirm our readiness to work with all members of the Council to to promote conflict prevention and the search for lasting solutions in the service of international peace and security. I thank you.
Permanent representative of Latvia.
President of the Security Council, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor to address you today as Latvia begins its term as an elected member of the United Nations Security Council for the very first time. This is a solemn and deeply meaningful moment for our nation, and we approach it with profound respect for the responsibility entrusted to us by the international community. The Latvian flag raised here today symbolizes sacrifices of our ancestors for the freedom of our country, resilience, and the unbroken will of our people. For generations, this flag served as a quiet yet powerful reminder of our nationhood and independence we sought to restore. It reminds us that freedom is neither given nor guaranteed, but we must defend it through commitment every single day. Latvia's national experience has shaped how we see the world. Our history has taught us what it means to live when our nation's voice was silenced, and how important the principles of sovereignty and the rule of law truly are. They guide our unwavering commitment to multilateralism, grounded in respect for international law, accountability, and peaceful resolution of disputes. Our presence on the Security Council reflects a long journey, from hardship to prosperity, from aspiration to active contribution. Latvia joins this council as a committed partner, ready to listen and to act in good faith. We believe that responsible engagement by countries big or small strengthens global peace and security. As our flag joins those of other members, Latvia pledges to serve with integrity, consistency, and steadfast adherence to the principles of the United Nations Charter, international law, and the values that unite this organization. I wish to use this opportunity to express our sincere appreciation to the outgoing members for their dedicated service and valuable contributions, and in particular Slovenia, who represented the Eastern European group before us. I also wish to recognize the beautiful tradition of this solemn flag-raising ceremony introduced by Kazakhstan. At the same time, we warmly congratulate fellow incoming members, Bahrain, Colombia, Democratic Republic of the Congo, and Liberia, and look forward to working together in a spirit of cooperation and shared responsibility. Now allow me to address my people in the Latvian language. Godātie tautieši Latvijā un pasaulē. Latvijai šodien ir vēsturiska diena. Pirmo reizi mūsu valsts būs apvienoto nāciju organizācijas drošības padomē. Nākamos 2 gadus mūsu sarkanbalts-sarkanais karogs atradīsies pie drošības padomes zāles, pārstāvot Latviju. Lepnu, neatkarīgu un apņēmīgu valsti. Tautu, kas zina brīvības cenu. Tas ir liels gods, bet arī liela atbildība. Atbildība rīkoties saskaņā ar mūsu vērtībām, aizstāvēt starptautiskās tiesības un stiprināt mieru pasaulē, jo īpaši Ukrainā. Ar šo apņemšanos mēs uzsākam darbu drošības padomē. Latvijas cilvēku vārdā, ar cieņu pret mūsu pagātni un ar atbildību pret mūsu nākotni. I thank you.
Permanent representative of Liberia.
Allow me to stand on the existing protocol. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I bring warm New Year greetings from His Excellency Joseph Newman Boakai, President of the Republic of Liberia, and extend Liberia's sincere appreciation to Slovenia, Algeria, Guyana, Sierra Leone, and the Republic of Korea for their service and stewardship of the Security Council during the 2025 terms. Liberia congratulates Somalia on assuming the presidency of the Council and takes this moment to thank Kazakhstan for sustaining this important tradition. It is one that reminds us that membership of the Security Council carries not only procedural obligation, but also deep responsibility. Today, as our flag, the Lone Star, is installed in these halls, we mark more than a ceremonial change. It is a defining moment in Liberia's national journey and a reflection of President Boykai's enduring belief that peace is both a privilege and certainly a duty. 8 years ago, the United Nations flag was lowered in Liberia to signal the end of the peacekeeping mission and the return of full responsibility for peace and security to the government and people of Liberia. That moment challenged us to prove that peace could endure beyond the presence of peacekeepers. Through commitment to democracy, institutional reforms, and national reconciliation, Liberia has met the challenge. More than 22 years after the comprehensive peace agreement, Liberia stands peaceful, democratic, and stable. Our flag now flies here not as a symbol of recovery, but as a symbol of responsibility and a testament of our readiness to serve. After 65 years, Liberia returns to the Security Council through its first full elected mandate, supported by 181 member states. That vote, to us, reflects global confidence in Liberia's voice and in the values President Boykai has continued to articulate, the values of dialogue over division, cooperation over conflict, and responsibility over isolation. Let's be clear. Liberia is here because multilateralism worked, because the Security Council acted with resolve, because the African Union and ECOWAS stood firm, and because partners across the world believed that even nations emerging from conflict can contribute to global peace. President Boykai's vision could not be clearer. Peace anywhere strengthens peace everywhere. Insecurity anywhere threatens stability everywhere. Liberia's own experience affirms that sustainable peace is built through dialogue, inclusion, and respect for human dignity. Excellencies, with this mandate, Liberia comes to the Security Council guided by experience and anchored in the United Nations Charter. We come committed to diplomacy because we have lived the cost of its absence. We come determined to build bridges, encourage consensus, and contribute constructively to a safer world. The nameplate will read Liberia. The seat is Africa's, but Liberia's outlook, we promise you, will be global. It will be rooted in the conviction that peaceful coexistence is a shared responsibility. Finally, Liberia is ready to serve toward a just and peaceful world. I thank you for your kind attention.
I thank you all for your reflections as Security Council members. I now have the honor to proceed with the ceremony. Please commence with the flag installation. The national flag of Bahrain. The national flag of Colombia. The national flag of Democratic Republic of the Congo. The national flag of Latvia. The national flag of Liberia. The delegates are invited to take group photo. As we reach the conclusion of this solemn ceremony, thank you for your presence and dedication. This marks the end of our proceedings. Thank you.